Greetings, groovy people! Blue Dragon here, welcoming you to this week's video. Strap in, folks, because it's gonna be a long one, okay?
We have got to get it together now.
Alrighty, so it's the last Wednesday of the month, and some of you who watch me regularly may be wondering, Blue, what gives? What the hell, man? Where's the monthly Q&A you're always trying to get us to become $10 patrons for to ask questions? Oh god. Oh my god. Side note, by the way, donation links are down in the description. Plug it in. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't do those motions. Anyway, well, my friends, do not think that I have forgotten. Oh no. I actually had a patron who may or may not be my fiance. I had someone ask me, how do I get this stuff set up for printing? And since my other patrons did not have any questions, and I checked with them and they were cool with me tackling this issue, and because I could spread this out over like several videos, I have taken it upon myself to answer this question in exceedingly great detail. Okay, sorry, I'm being a bit silly, being a little over the top, but legit. I have been asked this question by a couple people in addition to like my fiance wanting to know and having no questions from my $10 patrons. So it was maybe around last year, I believe. It might have been a different day. I can't remember if it was last year or 2018, but there were some people on Comic Theory who were seeking advice from the community on how to do this, how to set up documents for printing, which actually got into like a really cool discussion about how to like scroll comics get printed. And like one of the people who has like a fantastic comic, Heart of Coal, I think is what it is. They do like a really awesome scroll webcomic, but they were talking about how like some places will like print like in scrolls that you roll up, you know? That's my roll up. That's how you roll up. Actually, I roll up. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, I digress. So there are people out there who have like had this question quite often, and you know, I thought this would be a really cool series to do. So yeah, if you watched last week's video, you guys did watch last week's video, right? I'm trusting that you all did. If you didn't, go up to the upper right hand corner. There's an iCard and you can go check it out now. Okay, good. Now that you've finished watching that video and you're back here, if you watched last week's video, you know that I have done quite a bit of printing in the past. I made quite a few awful mistakes that cost me a lot of bread. So, the goal with this series and this technically part 2, although last week was the intro, but this series is to help save you guys some dosh, save some bread, some dough. Why is it we always consider, like, I don't know, I guess we constantly call money like euphemisms for carbohydrates. I wonder if it has like to do with way back when like people were trading, so the money was like to represent the grain, and then you use the grain to make bread, and that's what I think. Yeah. Okay. So, I have a little bit of experience. Boom. I printed Act 1 of Dark Horse, I printed Act 2 of Dark Horse, and in this video series, I am getting ready to print Act 3 of Dark Horse. So, let's go ahead and move over to the other video screen, because this week, we are tackling Step 2, how to set up your page properly, and how to lay it out right in Adobe InDesign. Now, you can use Microsoft Publisher if you like. I'm not going to use it. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think you can make PDFs from it, but I'm using Adobe InDesign because that's what I have. But I am going to put a link to the free version of Microsoft Publisher if you want to use Publisher instead of plopping down a ton of money on Adobe InDesign, because the old stuff is not subscription based and is hard to find, and the new stuff is subscription based, and that's against my personal code. So yeah, I'm going to put a free link down there. But if you have Adobe, then hey, great, that's what I'm using, so you can follow along. You can use these steps, just you'll have to learn how to apply it to your own programming. So let's get over to the other video. Sub-step 1, let's add some guidelines. My final document, once printed, is going to end up being 5 inches by 7 inches. But in order to prep that comic page, I need the image to have a 1/4 inch in safety and a 1/4 inch of bleed on all sides. So the safety is going to be within the 5 by 7, whereas the bleed is going to be without the 5 by 7 measurement. So I'm going to show you how to do this. Go to File and create a new document and name it. Normally I use A and then a combination of numbers. I work in 500 resolution. You could probably do 300. A lot of printers will take 300. I'm paranoid. I go for 500. And I keep it on black and white for most pages. So you can leave that be in grayscale. But if your comic is in color, change the color mode to CYMK, which means cyan, yellow, magenta, black. Those are the colors that printers use. Send it to them in CYMK. Otherwise, your colors could get messed up. Change the measurements to inches, unless you can work in pixels. And then I set the document size to 0.5 inches smaller than what my final product is going to be. So as I mentioned, I work in 5 by 7. This document is 4.5 inches by 6.5 inches. Now, make sure you have the snap selected. I'm not going to show you that until I move to the next stop. You can find that in the view part of the menu, then just scroll down and select snap. Add the guides to all 4 sides of your document, all 4 edges. Open your image drop down next and select canvas size. Change it to the actual final working size of your document, which for me, as I said, was 5 by 7. I am just now showing you where to find the snap because I'm awful. Way to go, Blue. Great tutorial. You suck at life. Anyway, do what you just did. Snap those guides in place. Snap it good. Go back to image and select canvas size, and this time add 0.5 inches to the outside of the entire document. In my case, it's 5.5 by 7.5 inches. I've added a scanned portion of the inked pages from last week. You'll see that I've laid that on here so that you can get an idea of what I'm doing. Your document now has a 0.25 inch bleed all around all 4 sides. This bleed is going to be cut off in the final product. You do not want any of your text in the bleed. You do not want any important image elements in the bleed. A lot of times the bleed is just going to end up being the gutter, so you're good to go. That's what most of the black is going to end up in the outline for the guttering of this act, which is the flashback. Normally it's white. I use black to indicate a flashback, but normally that's not a problem if you got guttering around your page. Just make sure that your bleed is guttering and there's a bit of guttering within the safety also, which I'll get to in a second. It's there for overflow in case you have like a full splash page, or you'll see I have elements on this page that I want to pop out, which you'll see by the end of the document. You also now have guides for 0.25 inches inside your final document. This is called the safety. The safety is there to mark where all of your text should fall inside. So that guideline that's 0.25 inches then all around, any text you have or anything super important should lie within that safety. Because machines can make mistakes and they might cut a little too much off here, or they might leave a little too much there. You don't want like little shitty white borders around. Like I have black borders on this chapter, as I mentioned a minute ago. So if I just left black guttering only up to the, within the safety line and just left the bleed white, then if the machine cut it wrong, it would have this shitty little sliver of white that would look like shit. So the bleed is there so that I can have all of my guttering be black. Because I love the gutter. Okay, just kidding. But also, you want things that are going to be important to be within the safety so that if it cuts a little too much off, you're not going to have part of a word chopped off and it's going to look and, be illegible, essentially. So it is Word of Wednesday imperative that anything important like your text lie within the safety. Your bubble can at times be without the safety. I mean, I have a lot of things that go to the edge, so part of the bubble's going to go there. And, you know, I probably have shit design, but sometimes that gets cut off even like in professional comics, so that's okay. Just make sure the text is inside. Alternatively, you don't want any of your text being lost in the centerfold crease either, where the pages fold over. So that's another reason why you've got safety on all four sides, because even in the middle, if it gets too close to the center, part of the word will be chopped off. And now I'm just thinking of Critters 2, that scene where the alien bounty hunter mirrors themselves off the Playboy centerfold and then reproduces the staple and then like pulls it out. Does anyone know what I'm talking about? No? Okay. Moving on. Once you have all your guides in place, you do whatever you do to get your pages created. Some people do digital art, so work within those guidelines to do your digital page. I scan my inked pages in and resize as necessary because I'm amateur and I do shit art. Confessions of a Crap Artist. Philip K. Dick had me in mind when he wrote that. But like I said, if you have digital art, go ahead and work within those lines. If you do traditional art, it's probably a good idea to have your page that you're working in be like a scaled down or scaled up version of the dimensions that you want to have your document in. So like I have the guidelines here in Photoshop, you could have like light blue guidelines for the bleed and the safety and all that jazz on your actual paper that you're working on, so that unlike me, you're not resizing shit and pixelating your art because I'm a shit artist. So you can be more professional, but I am not. Maybe one of these days I'll mature and get there. But yeah, that basically you want to make sure that you get your page within those dimensions, within the size that you want. Let's fast forward all this shit because you've seen it a million times before if you watch my videos, and you'll see it again because, yeah. Okay, we're at the end of me pissing about screen toning my page. I've got it done. You'll notice the angry man dude is popping out of the page in that very last quote-unquote panel. When that gets sent off to the printers, 0.25 inches of his legs are gonna get lopped off. That's okay. It's because I want him to be popping out of the page. So now we've got our pages all prepped, they're ready to go. Let's journey back to the desk and have a jarring audio change to talk a little bit about laying out your actual document. Regarding wrapping my mind around laying out each page. Is this upside down? What I did was... Here we go. What I did was I created a little scrap booklet before I even started putting things into InDesign. I knew it was going to be 50 pages, so I cut out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pages, 10 little pieces of paper, and I stapled them together, and then I hand wrote what I wanted it to look like. So this was the cover. It's technically page 1, but not really. But, you know, I said that I wanted it blank inside. The title page is going to be here. The copyright here. Blah, 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 blah. You get the idea. Till it gets to the middle of the book. Now, why did I do this? Because when they print, they duplex. So, in order to get the layout right, for me to understand what order I needed my document to be in so that I did not have to pay them to put the pages in order to print, I created this little mock-up, and then I wrote down what pages were going to be where. So this is a full color spread. This is the prophecy page. This is the sorry, you can't really see. The prophecy page. Then you turn the page. There's the prologue. There's the title page. There's actual page 1. Now, later on I do the page numbering, but I'll talk about that later whenever I'm actually in InDesign. But page 1 is here. If you take this apart, then you'll see, oh my god, page 1 is on the same page as page 22. So this here, you can see a little bit of the other page. Let's go to that page. That's the Hindenburg going down page. See that? So what you'll see with the InDesign document that I have, when you're reading it in InDesign, it does not make any sense if you were reading it like online. I do a separate document for my PDF forms, or like for the Comic Fury zine, for instance, I have that done in a different order because it's going to be read online. But if you're getting it printed, if you want to save money and save them work so that they can work on other projects, then you go ahead and do this yourself ahead of time. You know, then you have it all in order, like this page is going to be opposite of this page, even though when you're reading it, this page follows this page, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. Because I get so easily confused, that's why I created this little booklet, so that I could better visualize what I was doing, because otherwise I'm just like, I don't know, I can't conceptualize this. I'm sure there's some people maybe think more logically than I do, so perhaps there is a way that will work better for you. This is how I did it. I like to make little mock-ups. This is how I've always done it. This is how I did it when I worked at NIU and was using, I think it was Microsoft Publisher. I had to do like some kind of print-off. I always have to do it this way because that's just the way my mind works. My mind is dysfunctional, you guys. I'm so disorderly. I've got to have a visual and I have to be able to touch it. So yeah, that was really weird and creepy. So yeah, let's end this video. Let's just end this video. Next week we're delving into InDesign, so stay tuned for that. Ideally, it'll be a shorter video. We shall see. The question of the week: what's your ideal size of book? You dirty viewers. What dimensions do you prefer? This is a really dumb question. But I'm talking about, like, do you like the large art book styles? Or do you like the small paperbacks, manga size? Do you like the comic book size, hardback novels or novellas? A newspaper? I don't know. You decide the answer you want to give. Dark Horse is available for sale on my shop. Acts 1 and 2, and Act 3 is soon to come as I am working on it in these videos. Links are in the description for that shop. You can support what I do by donating or becoming a patron at the links in the description. You can like, sub, do the bell thing. You can walk away from this video annoyed or disgusted. I hope not, but the choice is yours. Whatever you do, be excellent to each other, please. Peace and love, fare you well, and keep on trucking. Oops, fuck, delete that. Got my ruler, gotta be 6 inches, okay. Oh shit, my tits are in there, okay.